Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Test, test. Testing 1, 2. Test, test. Testing 1, 2. 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 Testing. Testing 1, 2.
Test, test. Testing 1, 2. Hello, hello.
I don't know if it's big enough.
Yeah, a little bigger. You can go bigger.
Eric, correct?
Yes, sir.
Greg.
Pleasure, Greg.
Greg.
Pleasure meeting you. Sorry, I'm usually in my own little world.
I understand how that is.
Yeah.
Don't walk in when I'm coding. Once I start, sometimes $5.
Well, it's like the same thing. There's certain things that people can interrupt you, and then there's other things, once they interrupt you, you just lost about, an hour's worth of work.
Sure. I was in a flow.
I know,
It's gonna take me
exactly.
an hour to get it back, if I get it back.
Yep, that is correct. We are ready. Ready as I'll ever be. So without the stage boxes, what I got, Chris, is a 25-foot spooling power cable and 25-foot spooling Cat 6. Because I was expecting and I thought maybe we'd go somewhere in here, but since we're going to be back here again, I want to make sure I got those and make it easier on you guys.
That's the only thing, two things that means.
Yeah, so if you'll see, it's just power. It's nothing more than just a regular TV. We'll go over it. And then it plugs in here. I'm going to, I was thinking about, I'm going to get a biscuit and just do a jumper here. That way, if somebody trips over it, you're breaking a $5 biscuit at the most instead of, having to ship this up and get it repaired. Because somebody will trip over it. And you guys could, house repair a biscuit. You guys can't, open that up and solder it, so. Yeah, I was having issues with the Teams room over there, and it's one of those things. I was just tired. I was putting in the email wrong. So I got it all under my account when we go and train over there. I basically created a corporation that's only me and the boardroom are part of. I use it to test different things. So when we go over there, it's only going to be one other person that works for me, and that's the boardroom. So we're going to test there. But once you guys integrate, and I can assist you directly, I'm not going to bore everybody with the Teams. It's not too bad. You purchase a license, and you create the room, and then you put the license with the room, and then once you've done that, you're going to have an email and a sign-in for that room, and then you just go back to the unit and you plug it in. Automatically populates. Hello? Yeah, it's free. It's a process, but it's free. So the Teams room, you guys can go up to the Pro one. The Pro, the only thing, there's quite a few other things that it adds, like analytics and stuff. I mean, the main thing that I always say that it adds pretty cool is the ability to join WebEx. And we'll go over that when we go over there. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But also embedded recording. So if you guys want to record your Teams meetings, and just hit the record button on there. But with the free one, there's still ways around it, as you know. You can join the meeting on your own Teams laptop and record it from there. There's ways around it. So whatever you guys want, I just want to make sure you guys are aware. Yeah, I think the Teams room license, it varies depending on how many other things you guys have in your organization and stuff. I think it's around $40 if you just were to just bare bones, but. Yeah, I would say they've made it easier. So back in the day, the Teams room licensing was like you had to crawl through broken glass in order to get this set up. Because they're competing with Zoom, and Zoom, it takes like 2 seconds. They've made it a little easier, but it's a monthly subscription just for the Pro one. So Teams does what Zoom doesn't. Zoom is like $50 a month, take it or leave it. Teams lets you do the free one, and that's what's working over there. Probably work fine for you guys. I'll send you like a list that shows you what you get with free, what you get with Pro. And if you guys want to upgrade to Pro or whatever, Go ahead.
Whatever you put together in a comparison chart, put a HIPAA compliant. Are they HIPAA compliant?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and everything here, as long as the network is secure, is HIPAA compliant. Because we do have items exposed to the network, and as you know, I have limited control over it. I didn't know, since we're going to be recording this session, I was going to throw this microphone out there. If anybody wants to ask a question, I know it seems kind of strange to speak in a microphone with it just being us in here, but in order to record it, we're going to have to. So if you want to record the questions, we have the hand mic as well. Yeah, just flip it on. And if you guys are done, just flip it off. It's that easy.
Mike, would like to say hello to the audience? It's all good, it's all up, 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 up. It's the only direction to go.
Yeah, I was worried about the camera getting dark because this being right behind it does a little bit, but it's not as bad as I thought it'd do. So it's just, the camera just sees a bright light getting reflected. That's all it sees, a window. It thinks it's looking at a window. Oh, just so you guys know, I was really worried because fairly live room. When you get more people in here, it'd be a little less reflective, a little bit less boomy, but I was able to get the EQ to a point where you guys don't have to worry about feedback at all. So if you guys want to get out here and do some, meet and greets and stuff, I got everything EQ'd, so even at a decent volume, you guys are not having to worry about feedback. The only thing is, if you guys want to get lapel mics, I say please don't, just if you guys do, just get with me. That way I can do a separate EQ for the lapel mics. Those are the most dangerous ones.
I think there was just a problem with it during COVID. Everybody was freaking out about it, saying that was the problem.
This one has an attachment. If you can find some cheaper mics out there and stuff like that, they're going to have different sensitivities. If you guys want to get your own, I could point you in the right direction. Don't buy them from me. It's not something I can get that good a price on. I can give you guys a link. Hello. I know you. How you doing?
We have to do some karaoke.
That's exactly the one I was going to sing. You just took my thunder. All right. I just don't know when we have the final roster, so. Like I said, and this isn't one training and done, guys. I live in New Braunfels. I'm not too far away from here, so if there's something we didn't hit on, if there's usually the first training causes people to know what questions to ask. A lot of this stuff could probably be done on Zoom. I could just share my screen because I could actually bring up your controls remotely and press the buttons remotely and go through it. But anything outside of that, don't worry about having to memorize everything. We are recording this session as well. This is all. And I'll be here. Yeah, I'll be here. So the first couple meetings, big meetings, I always come and just babysit. It's a lot better to get somebody yelling at you, when you're 2 feet away than when I'm an hour and a half away. So I could only drive so fast.
What's that thing? Is that ours?
Yep. So this is going to be a confidence monitor. I'm going to get some longer cables. Basically, this is for if you have a podium set up here and you just want to monitor what's going on without this constantly. It just makes it to where you can see what's going on. You guys can do whatever you want with it, though.
You know how PowerPoint does the split, then you can have your notes on that, and
Yeah.
Or do they have to be duplicated?
It doesn't have to be, and we're going to get into that. So I have it duplicated now because I'm leaning towards simplicity, but we need to have these conversations. This can be whatever source. This can be whatever source. You could have two different sources going on here.
They're just gonna go,
That'd be great.
Well, this does adjust up. I haven't cut the zip tie off. I meant to do that, but it does adjust up and the tilt adjusts as well.
So we have rocks we got three, no. 3 rocks per quarter.
Come up here and read this for me.
And then I told Chris I am getting we were getting at stage boxes, but those end up being not decided on. So they are going to run back here, but we're going to get a 25-foot like spool Cat 6. All it needs is power and a Cat 6. So, hello. No rush, guys.
we were waiting on you, so now we can get started, he's here.
Welcome to training day. How much power I got? I should be good. All right. Is everybody here? Yeah. Everybody's here. All right. Let me get set up over here. Let me go ahead and hit the record button. Is anybody having any aversion to being recorded today? Okay. Just want to make sure. And we are recording the whole session, including all the audio. Okay.
Who is it? That was so dramatic.
Hello.
Just kidding.
Spirits are welcome to join too. Come on in.
Google Slides.
Yeah. Google Slides, that's going to be your current manual. There's already one page. It's going to be updated, but remember that is a live link. And anybody that has, I have it set for anybody that has a link can view it. So if there's any adjustments I make, it's going to be live and in color. So that's the reason I haven't sent out a PDF or handed out pages. This is our first training. There's going to be changes. People are going to change things. There's going to be something we'll find. That Google Slide link is where the training really lives. That way, when we update it, everybody's got the same exact information. So you can bring it up anywhere. And like I said, as long as you just save that link, even if I update it, of course, it'll just be changed. It'll be the same link, though. So, all right, this everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Misty's gonna join us in the boardroom. Yeah, she didn't turn on all this.
Go ahead and bring it up. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have brought some chairs, guys. All right. This is our starting point. So there are screenshots of the exact pages that we have here. You'll notice a couple little difference. I made some last minute changes today. The camera presets, they weren't very user friendly if you ask me, so we fixed that. So I'll update the manual as soon as we get done here. This is our opening page. As you guys probably have already scanned, that QR code will take you to the link to the Google Slides. That is the manual for the system. The manual for the system, it's not just a play-by-play. In fact, let's bring it up real quick. Why not? Let's go ahead and hop over to there. All right. So you have table of contents. So if you're looking for something specific, go ahead and go through the table of contents. If you notice, these table of contents are also links. They'll take you to the actual slides that those are located. So I did want to show the manual. We're going to go through these pages and actually do training on them, but they do show you what the buttons do. We're not going to go too much into this because I'm going to show you the live button, so it's not really much to show you a manual. But that being said, you do have other information here, such as camera view, setup information. It actually shows screens, how you would set up the camera. And then a big one here is if you're not familiar with ClickShare, it gives you ClickShare information, including native Apple AirPlay and all these kind of fun things and what ClickShare does. So it's got a lot of information here that isn't going to be directly on that unit back there, including links to setting up Teams and setting up Zoom, so with using ClickShare. So these things are really handy. I would definitely say go through them, depending on what kind of meeting you're going to do. Ensure that you kind of test it out first and call me if there's any issues, okay? All right, let's go back to our controls. Don't want to keep everybody here, so right here we start out our page 1, basically our QR code, and hit anywhere on here. This is our main page. This is probably where you're going to live most of the time, okay? There's a lot of things happening here. The reason why is I tried to put all your most fun favorites right on the first page. That way we're not jumping around anywhere. So right here, you'll see that you actually on your, if you're looking at the touch panel, I'll show you the same thing. This is a low resolution, basically screen grab of what's currently on the projector. So if you're curious and you're facing with your back to the projector, you don't have to worry. That's going to be on the projector. It's just a screen grab of what's going on up there, okay? There is, besides the manual, there is, as any place I could, I did fit in just a quick explanation of what's going on. So I did spell check it as much as I can. The program doesn't have a spell checker, but if you notice any misspelled words, just tell me, I'll change them. Up here in projector monitor source, we have auto switch on or off. All auto switch does is if I plug in an HDMI, it thinks, okay, you probably want to see that device. I'll switch you there. If I plug in back there, there's an HDMI back there. If I plug in there and I have a hot signal, it goes, oh, you probably want to see that since you plugged in and have a hot signal. You don't even have to hit the switch button, it'll auto switch for you. The other way auto switches, if I'm using ClickShare, and not if I plug in the ClickShare. Are you all familiar with ClickShare? Okay. This dongle right here, you plug it into your computer. It shows up white. Once, that's fine. I need to use a different word. It shows up white, but once you hit the button, it goes red and you're sharing. So if you're sharing, once again, we're assuming if you're trying to share, you probably want to see that on the projector, so it'll auto switch there as well.
Some of our folks that don't have administrative password be able to download the app because of ClickShare.
Okay. So even without the app, embedded in here is basically, it's just like a USB stick you would put on your computer. If you guys got USB shut down though, like mine doesn't auto run. You plug it in, if you actually go to it like it was a USB stick, there's a executable file for both Mac and PC, and you double click that and it'll run and it'll bring up. It won't be as good as the app, but it'll get you by. Recommend the app, but you know, in a pinch, if you plug it in and it's just giving you that wheel of death almost, just go and check your drives, and it'll be right there. It says ClickShare for Windows, ClickShare for Mac, and you just double click which one you need, and it'll automatically run that file. Yes, sir.
So this is on that pad back there?
Yeah, if you were to walk back there right now, it's just, that's really hard for all of us to gather around, so this is... Yeah, this is just going to be all your setup. You shouldn't be mashing away at that screen. You should be basically setting up what you're going to be doing and then just doing it. So, and then we'll get into, you know, the different things you have here. So, auto switch is currently off. You can go through and just manually hit those buttons and switch. So it really doesn't matter how you guys want to run it. If auto switch is irritating you, just turn it off. If you just want to be the guy in charge and hit the buttons and tell it, I want to see this or that, you go ahead and do that. Even if auto switch is on, you can override it by hitting one of those buttons. If you have two people plugged in and it's like, oh, they switched to him, why did it switch to him? We actually want him to play, just hit the button, it'll go back, or turn off auto switch, either way. Bluetooth, press to pair. So if we press to pair, it's on my phone. My phone's really loud right now. So it'll pair, and the name is Train BT. That's going to be the name it's going to put out. You can pair, and you can play music, whatever you guys want to do. You can hit the unpair, and you can forget. That's this to that. Just remember, if you're playing anything Bluetooth, you have a volume on your phone. We get so many calls, it's not working, their phone's turned all the way down. So there's nothing I can do to make this, your phone, or whoever wants to use that, turn their phone up. So just ensure that the phone's turned up. It happens to me all the time. I was testing the system, I thought the audio wasn't working, my HDMI was turned all the way down just a second ago. So, if somebody you just want to unpair, if you just want to forget, sometimes Bluetooth gets a little funky, so if it does, just forget your device and repair it. The Bluetooth device is contained here. You're looking at the standard distances for Bluetooth. It's really made to cover the stage area. You'll probably start cutting out if you get too far away, okay? Depending on how many people in here in your line of sight and stuff like that. It's a unit right back over here that's the HDMI is plugged into. The Bluetooth is actually on that.
If we were sitting back there running the meeting, we wouldn't Bluetooth music from back there.
I wouldn't, and it's just, there's so many variables of Bluetooth. Bluetooth isn't really made to be a long distance transmission method, and the unit's up here. If you guys find, here's the cool thing though, so this is how we can live within the system, right? I've got the Bluetooth one here and a regular HDMI input there. If you guys find like, I would never use Bluetooth here, I would like to sit back there and use Bluetooth, we could simply swap those two. Bluetooth is back there, regular HDMI is here. So there you go. But like I said, just tell us, don't just live in misery. You know, I wish you would have done it this way. Why didn't you do it this way? Tell me. It's a simple, we took that one off, we swap them, a simple programming key, and we're back in business, okay? Program max volume. So that's going to be the loudest volume you can get. And this is for your program. Program is being, if I'm playing a video via HDMI. Program would also be if I'm doing a Zoom or a Teams meeting, the people from the far end. Program would also be Bluetooth. So this is the max volume. Once again, this is there just to make sure that you can control how loud. Let me turn that down. Scared me half to death. How loud it can get. So, you know, if you're trying to keep this room, you know, to where they're not just completely overpowering or just within a certain limit, then that's where that lives. That way, if I go 100% on my Bluetooth, it could get loud, but not just like ridiculously loud, okay? The main thing to remember is each of these devices, well, just like the Bluetooth, they have their own individual volume. So if I'm doing Teams or I'm doing Zoom, I'm going to have my speaker volume right there within my program, right? So if I'm doing that, and once again, I have my speaker all the way down, I'm not going to hear it over the speakers. Or, you know, or any of those settings there, you have control. While you're on your computer, you have the first volume control, right? This is just stopping it at a max volume. This is all this is. Just make sure people are aware of this, because we'll have it where, oh, it's too loud, and people just do this. And then the next person comes in and goes, oh, every single time I've used this system, it's been perfect, the perfect volume. And I come in here the other day, and now I can't hear myself because they never have gone back there. So it's one of those things, you know, I don't like to put a volume control there, but the way your system's set up, it can get really loud. So I just want to make sure that we have some control over that. Right now, these are just some housekeeping items right here. If you click share, if it gets dumb, you can hold this down for 5 seconds and reboot it. If you hit this button, it'll have a timer. And if it goes all the way to 1 second, it'll reboot. If not, it'll just disappear. So you kind of know how long to hold it for. The yellow one there is your video system. This is all going through a network video system. Not that there's going to be an issue. This just is a quick, you know, if the video flips out on you, you could reboot it. It'll take about 3 minutes for the video to come back up. Okay. This gives us something to do if there's an issue. Instead of just, you know, panic calling us, you guys can try a couple things real quick. Down here, you'll see a couple of serial numbers with a button 1, button 2. This is your click shares buttons, and these are labeled here if they're sharing, and then this one's okay, and there's just a little error that has input count mismatch. It's something that hopefully they'll change, but the okay is the important part. That just means our system's communicating with the click share. Any questions? All right, I'm going to move a little faster now because I'm going to have a lot less on the pages until we get to the camera view. Mic audio. So, belt pack mic and handheld mic. These are our 2 microphones we have. As you can see, we've got a meter here, this is your current volume. It's also shown as a percentage. You have two different ways to see. You also have, am I getting signal? Right here. So if you talk into the microphones, you'll see that you get the signal bouncing up and down right there. So it kind of gives you like, oh, okay, we are getting signal. Feedback suppressor. I've tried to EQ this system. I'm still going to be doing some follow-up visits once the speakers get used a little bit more to EQ.
How did you get to that screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the first thing I should have done. Up here at the top, projector program audio page is our first page. Microphone miscellaneous audio page is our second page. And you hit these tabs up here, and they're going to go white once you hit them. I apologize. I should have started there. So, and this is just to control the mic volumes. Once again, this is something you should set and forget unless somebody's just really loud. I do have compression, so if you get a little loud, you'll notice it starts to get a little robotic. That's why if somebody gets super loud, it does cut that down a little bit.
I can hear you.
Yeah. And then right here is just really showing you where the mute buttons are. There's a mute button on that one, but nobody ever uses it because the power on and power off is easier. There's a mute button here, a tangible mute button. Stage input, we're just going to hit this real quick. You guys have an XLR input up here for expansion devices, probably something you may or may not use. I just want to make sure you guys are aware you have it. There's two different types of inputs, mic in and a line in. You can plug in like a separate mixer. Somebody comes in here and they have their own mixer and a bunch of microphones or a guitar or something, that's going to be where they're going to plug in to interface with the system, okay? They have a line in and a mic level in. If they ask you, I don't know what that means, and they have a mixer, then I'd be scared with them plugging into the system. So basically what that is, there's two different kind of levels out there. There's a line level, which is very loud compared to mic level. If they plug a line level into a mic level, you won't blow the system. I got a bunch of stuff in there, but it won't sound good at all. So it depends what their mixer puts out. So if they plug it in, they'll be able to pipe whatever they want to do into by plugging in down here. All right, next one. Any questions about that? Camera control page. All right, you can see here I get like a 3-second preview of our camera. And then we also have some presets here that we can save. In order to save your presets, you're going to hold down these buttons for 3 seconds. To recall them, you're just going to tap them. Just remember, if you record over your preset, they're gone forever. So if I want to save the preset. So over here to the right, this is our stage-facing camera. You'll see a preview here. This is only a 3-second image. And then you have our audience camera over here. Very simple in the controls, but you see this isn't going to show me live and in color where we're at. It's going to be only a 3-second preview. So the best thing to do is just if you're wanting to adjust the cameras, we'll get into that, just switch the cameras and then get into Zoom or Teams and you can see the cameras there. Let's go ahead and get our audience in view. I'm sorry, I should have had that. There we go. So you do have 2 cameras. You have your stage view camera and you've got your audience camera. We'll get into it to where you can actually mix those feeds, but you guys can actually choose whichever camera. If you have somebody giving a presentation in the back, you can switch to this camera entirely instead of having the audience camera be your main one. However you guys, whatever your current needs are, you guys can use the cameras for that.
Log into Zoom would be using ClickShare, logging into Zoom on your computer, and then it connects to that camera?
Yep. So ClickShare, we're going to go, I'll refer you back to the menu. It tells you exactly how to make sure once you put ClickShare in. It tells you, it comes up as room camera from the ClickShare, and it's going to be that camera. And it comes up as room audio, and that's going to be your microphone. And just remember, and I can't stress this enough, you guys are doing Zoom or Teams, and you don't feel like you need a microphone, you need your voice to turn into an electronic signal to be heard over Zoom or Teams. You need to get a microphone out, okay? Because that's how they're going to hear you. So there is no other way to get over to Zoom or Teams or to record yourself. If you guys want to record the meetings, you guys are going to have to get a microphone out, okay? There's an acoustic echo cancellation in here. So we've tested it, it sounds pretty good. So there's a couple different things happening, and I won't spend too much time on this. We got 2 feeds going. There's your overhead feed. For my microphone right now, I have a bunch of frequencies. I'm trying to EQ it for the room. Teams and Zoom don't do that. So I'm sending the raw, beautiful frequency from this microphone without those frequencies being dumped right to Zoom and Teams and right to your recorder. Because there's no reason to take out those frequencies because those aren't inside of a live room. That's literally an electronic feed. So any kind of acoustic echo cancellation, we do have an echo cancellation here that's going to basically take whatever's coming out of the speakers, it's going to listen for that coming back through the mic, and it's going to say, hey, you don't want that to come back through your mic, and it's going to find that audio and cut it out. It takes a little bit to work. It is a robot, and it does learn, but when you start a call, you might notice a little bit of echo, and eventually it'll disappear. So. These are your camera controls. This one right here, if you click on this and turn your auto track on, see if it'll grab onto them. Yep. Let's see here. Let me go back to the page. So you'll notice it's deselecting my page. Let's see if it's on me. Let's do. Not you.
This is how churches do it.
Once everybody. So this is how you do auto track, because this is infuriating trying to do it this way. I hate doing it. So auto track works best like this. If you have a wide view of people, the last thing you want to do, this is how you cycle through the people you want to auto track. Like I said, it's tedious at best, especially if you're live and you're trying to figure out. Get to where the person you want is the one in the frame. Sorry. You have auto tracking on both cameras. Not that you're necessarily going to use it for your audience camera, but if you have somebody presenting back there, once again, I don't know what you guys are going to use it for. So since I was the only one there, it should just track me. Let's see. There we go. So it's following me. It's a 3-second preview there. And I need to lose some weight. There you go. So that's not how it's going to be going over Zoom or Teams. So just remember, that's just pulling a 3-second refresh. But once it locks on, you guys can walk in front of me. It could be a second person. You guys, it knows my face. It knows it's me. I could walk down here. It gets really awkward if you're done speaking. You want to go sit down? Yeah. It's gonna follow me. So I'm showing you this because you're gonna want to have somebody riding that auto tracking off button. So. Or you just wanted to keep going. So yeah. So once you turn auto tracking off, it'll basically default to its last state. And like I said, if you can actually cycle through the people that it's on. This is going to be the most complex thing, but I want to make sure that nobody's scared of this. We're trying to make this as easy as possible. So let's go to the camera view. And it's not necessarily complex, there's just a lot of options here. So we try to make it as simple as possible, but you can actually decide what your camera view is. On the control, we have just straight stage cam. That's probably where you're going to live a lot of times, right? So if we hit this, it's going to go to preview. And I'm going to say, okay, I do want that. You hit switch, throws it over there. So that's going to be your camera feed down to, so remember, this is all one thing. This is our Teams feed. This is our, if we're doing a Teams or Zoom and we're using the click share, this is our camera feed that they're going to see, right? This is also what we're recording. So right now, when I switch the camera, it's going to record that. And I'm going to send out this recording for a little bit there. We're probably recording nobody in the audience camera. So this one right here, you can see it's on the preview. This one's our audience camera. on the top quadrant, well, we have our stage camera here. We can do a bunch of different layouts here, guys. You tell me what layouts work for you, I can create them for you. I guessed at a few of them, so that's all I did. The other really cool thing that this helps out with is projector content. If you have something that's very important and you don't want to have somebody riding the Teams and Zoom while you're up here presenting and be like, okay, when I share that slide, I need to make sure you share that slide so everybody sees it, and we need to make sure that gets recorded because this is like the awesome video we've been working on. I don't want to see myself anymore. I want to see what's up there. Just so you know, guys, when it does this, it's not a glitch. I have it timed to where it goes back to the original screen on this one. So, but mine doesn't do that. So I only have it to where it pulls if you're on the page. So once I hit the button again, it'll come up. Oh, not that one, this one. So this is what they're going to see on your camera. So think of this as something different. You want to share something on Teams and Zoom, you want to make sure that that gets recorded. This slide is very important. This graphic is important. This video you're playing is important. And I'm recording this. I want to make sure that gets recorded. I want to make sure whatever I'm saying about it is recorded, but I don't want to just have that projector in the background because this is important to me. Now, if the projector in the background is fine, and them doing this, then great, just leave the audience camera. But this is something you want to see. Yeah, but that's the way you don't have to have another set of hands doing this for you. This is now your camera feed. It's sharing your screen. And you can have somebody, controlling this or however you guys want to do it. You can have this control up as well, just up here on an iPad eventually when we get there, and just do it yourself. Or you can have somebody that's just controlling your live. Because this is important, because if you guys are going to be using the recordings, if you guys are going to be using live stream, you want those to be high quality things, especially live streams. There's nothing you could do to change what happened, right? It's got to look good, and if you're fumbling around on slides and something like that, this gives you a way just to make it very organic, and it looks good. So as you can see right here, we also have a stream. Press here to start streaming. If we were to go over here, I have been live streaming this whole thing. Nobody's on it, don't worry. Nobody's going to see it. But I'm on YouTube Live. There's a simple button, and I can stream. It's, of course, delayed, so it's got to encode onto YouTube. But this is all on a live stream right now. All it takes is hit one button, live stream. You guys are live streaming. If you guys have people over multiple campuses, just because you're live streaming, yep, showing the projector. Just because you're live streaming doesn't mean that that you're trying to put it out for people you don't know. You could live stream and just say, people over there, this link and link, and join the meeting if you can, if you don't feel like doing a Zoom or something like that. You can stream wherever. I set up a YouTube account, Facebook Live. There's a bunch of different ways. You tell me how you guys are wanting to stream. I can easily help you set it up. If you want to stream, basically I set up where to stream. I set up all this, and then you put it inside there. When you hit start stream, it goes to YouTube Live, goes to my channel. Yes, there's some setup in the back end. You guys tell me what you guys are looking for. We could do it. It's fairly simple.
We stream to a private. We could create a private YouTube channel, stream to a private YouTube channel, and give that link to whoever we want.
That's what I'm doing right now. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. Yeah, and then you can record and stream at the same time. You don't have to choose which one you're doing. So, all right. Any questions about this? I know this one's a little bit weird that we have all these different views, but I can't stress enough, this is your camera view on Zoom, and this is also what you're recording. They're both together. You're recording this, and this is also your view. So right now, this whole time I've been talking, when I send you guys a recording, it's just going to show the screen. I'm going to go back over here. I want stage cam. It's going to give me a preview of the stage cam, and then I'm going to hit switch when I want to throw that. So you can be ready for it. If you know the process, you can be like, okay, I know coming up next is going to be the slide they want to make sure they show, and I'm ready for it because I know when they said this cue right here, they wanted me to show them, but I want my projector content queued up. All right, they're showing the slide. and you can have somebody doing that for you. All right.